The dark silence of the distant planet was broken by the sound of hurried footsteps echoing through cold metal corridors. High above, the alien starships hovered, their sharp lights cutting through the thick fog that covered the abandoned human facility. Inside, a group of aliens moved cautiously, their eyes wide with shock as they stumbled upon cages. Rows of them, each holding small, frightened human children. The alien leader, tall and commanding, stepped forward, his voice trembling with anger as he roared, "You imprisoned human kids? Do you even realize what you've done?" The walls shook as his rage filled the room. The humans, scattered and trembling, froze, unsure if the aliens would attack immediately or simply vanish in a flash of fury. They had always believed that aliens were distant observers, uninterested in the lives of humans. Yet, now, they faced beings far stronger, faster, and smarter than they had ever imagined. The cages themselves were strange, made of a material the humans could not recognize, glowing faintly as if alive. The children pressed against the bars, their small faces filled with fear, but some eyes flickered with curiosity, and perhaps, something deeper. The alien leader walked slowly between the cages, scanning each child. He bent close to one of the smaller ones, his large eyes studying the boy's face. "Do you understand the danger your species has caused?" he demanded. The boy did not answer, only stared back, his silence somehow braver than the humans expected. Outside the cages, the human scientists whispered among themselves, their panic growing. They had never thought the aliens would come so close, so fast. Their plan to hide the children had failed, and now they had to face the consequences. One of the humans, a young woman with trembling hands, stepped forward, raising her voice to explain. "We did it to protect them. We did not mean any harm," she pleaded. But the aliens only regarded her with suspicion, their expressions unreadable. "Protection," the leader repeated slowly, his voice like thunder in the empty room. "Do you know the chaos you have invited?" The humans could feel the weight of his words like a heavy stone pressing against their chests. In the corner, a child shifted slightly, causing a soft click. The alien leader's eyes narrowed. He noticed a strange energy radiating from the cages. The children were not ordinary. Even in their confinement, they seemed connected to something unseen, something powerful. His anger mixed with confusion. How could such small creatures hold such strange energy? The humans noticed the change in the alien's expression but could not understand it. Panic began to ripple among them. Some tried to escape, but the alien's speed was terrifying. They moved like shadows, silent yet unstoppable, surrounding the humans in an instant. One human scientist dropped to his knees, praying silently, while another held a child close, hoping their courage would be enough. The alien leader stopped suddenly, raising a hand, and the humans froze. A deep, resonant sound filled the room, a low hum that made the walls vibrate. The children stiffened, their eyes glowing faintly as if responding to an unspoken signal. The alien leader frowned, unsure of what he had awakened. It was then that the first small child spoke, not in words, but in a sharp, clear sound that seemed to resonate in everyone's mind. The leader stumbled backward, his senses overwhelmed. These humans were not simple prey. They were something different, something dangerous. Fear and curiosity battled within him. He realized that punishing the humans without understanding them could be a grave mistake. The humans, sensing this shift, held their breath. Could they survive this encounter? Could their hidden potential protect them from being so advanced and deadly? The alien leader's gaze swept over the room one last time before he turned sharply to the others. "We must report this. The council must see what has been done here," he said, his voice calmer but heavy with tension. The aliens began to leave, their movements precise and silent. The humans, though relieved, knew that this was only the beginning. The children remained in their cages, but the energy inside them pulsed stronger now, a quiet promise that they were not helpless. Outside, the human scientists exchanged worried glances. They knew that the aliens would return, and when they did, they would be prepared for more than just words. In the shadows, one child smiled faintly, almost imperceptibly. The adventure, the danger, and the truth about human strength had only just begun. Somewhere deep in the facility, a strange light shimmered, unnoticed by the humans and aliens alike. It was small, but it carried the weight of a secret that could change everything. The silence returned, thick and heavy, yet charged with suspense. The humans knew that the world they had lived in was about to be shattered, and nothing would ever be the same again. The cages, the children, and the alien outrage marked the first step in a story that would challenge the very understanding of power, courage, and survival. The forbidden cage had opened, and the future of humanity was no longer hidden. The humans barely had time to breathe after the aliens' sudden visit. Panic spread like wildfire among the scientists and guards as they realized the Council of Aliens would soon arrive. Rumors of their power had reached the far corners of the galaxy, and the humans feared what they could do if provoked. Outside the cages, the children whispered softly to one another, their voices barely audible, yet carrying a strange confidence. The alien leader had left, but his words echoed through every human mind. "Do you know the chaos you have invited?" Those words weighed heavily on the humans, reminding them that the threat was far from over. Within hours, massive alien ships appeared in the skies above the human facility. Their sleek metallic surfaces reflected the sun, blinding the humans below. Alarms blared, and the ground shook as beams of light scanned the area. Humans ran for cover, trying to hide in the tunnels and bunkers they had built in desperation. The alien ships did not land immediately. Instead, they hovered silently, observing, their presence suffocating. The council would arrive soon, and with them, judgment. Inside the cages, the children felt the tension, but they did not panic. Some of them glanced at one another with a knowing look, as if they could sense the danger in a way the adults could not. One boy pressed his small hand against the bars, closing his eyes. A faint glow emerged from his palm, unnoticed by the humans. The energy inside them was awakening, slowly, as if aware of the approaching threat. The humans tried to plan. A few scientists gathered near a console, desperately trying to send a message to friendly colonies, but the system had been disabled by alien surveillance. They were trapped. One young woman, standing over a small child, whispered, "We have to stay calm. We cannot show fear." The child looked up at her with a faint smile, not afraid, but alert, as if he knew something she did not. Hours passed, and the alien council finally arrived. Their ships descended slowly, each one larger and more intimidating than the last. The humans could see their silhouettes, massive figures moving inside the ships, their features alien and unreadable. A loud hum vibrated through the ground as the council spoke in a voice that seemed to resonate inside every human's chest. "You have imprisoned our children. You have broken the laws of the galaxy. You will face consequences." The humans trembled, knowing that escape was impossible. Yet, the children in their cages remained still, their eyes glowing faintly, hinting at a power waiting to be unleashed. The alien leader from before stepped forward, his voice rising above the others. "Do not underestimate them. There is something unusual in these humans. They may seem weak, but we must be cautious." The council murmured among themselves, a mix of anger and curiosity rippling through their ranks. The humans watched in disbelief. Even the aliens were unsure of what they faced. Inside the cages, one child touched the bars again, sending a spark of light across the metal. The alien council froze, sensing something they did not understand. Panic turned into curiosity, and some aliens whispered urgently, warning their comrades to stay back. The humans, still in shock, did not notice the shift. Fear had kept them frozen, but now hope flickered. Perhaps the children were more than they seemed. The young woman gathered a few humans around her, whispering, "We have to protect them. We cannot fail now." They nodded, their determination growing despite the impossible odds. Suddenly, alarms from the alien ships blared, signaling a scan or attack. The children's glow intensified, and the energy between them seemed to respond to the danger. One of the humans, a scientist who had doubted the children's strength, gasped. "They're protecting themselves," he whispered, his voice trembling. The aliens noticed it too. The leader raised his hand, commanding silence, as if trying to understand what was happening. The energy in the room pulsed, and for a moment, even the humans could feel it in their bones. A strange warmth, a signal that the children were not ordinary. As night fell, the alien ships hovered silently, waiting, observing, testing the humans' resolve. The children whispered among themselves, forming a plan the humans could not yet comprehend. The council would leave soon, but they would return with more force if they sensed danger. Humans huddled together, their fear slowly replaced by awe. The children were the key, though no one could yet understand why. In the shadows of the facility, the glow from the cages spread faintly, illuminating the walls with a soft light. The humans realized that their fate depended not on weapons or strategy, but on the courage and hidden power of the children they had tried to protect. Somewhere deep inside, the alien leader frowned, sensing a growing strength he could not yet control. His rage had not faded, but curiosity and fear battled within him. The humans held their breath, waiting for the next move. The galaxy was watching, and the story of these humans was only beginning. The alien threat had arrived, but it had also awakened something that no one, not even the council, had predicted. The forbidden cage was no longer just a prison. It was a spark, a warning, and perhaps the first step in a story that could change the balance of power in the universe. The humans and aliens alike felt it, a tension thick as metal, waiting for the moment it would explode into action. The night was quiet, yet charged with suspense, and everyone knew that the coming hours would decide the future of all involved. The morning light barely touched the facility when the humans realized the danger had not passed. The alien council had left for now, but their presence lingered like a shadow over every corner. The cages held the children tightly, yet their small faces no longer showed fear. Instead, there was a quiet confidence, a subtle glow in their eyes that seemed to speak to something deep within the humans who watched them. One boy shifted inside his cage and stretched his fingers toward the bars. A faint light shimmered around his hands, and a soft hum filled the room. The scientists and guards froze, unsure if they were seeing a miracle or a threat. "What is happening?" whispered one of the older humans, his voice trembling. The children did not answer. They did not need to. Their energy pulsed in the air, something powerful and unseen. Outside, the humans tried to plan for the next alien visit. They repaired broken systems, strengthened doors, and whispered strategies. But deep inside, they knew their weapons were useless against the aliens. Only the children held a chance. The young woman who had led them before walked slowly past the cages, kneeling to look into the eyes of a small girl. "Stay calm," she whispered. "We are with you." The girl nodded faintly, but her eyes betrayed her awareness of something far greater. Suddenly, a loud bang echoed through the facility. One of the cages shook violently, and the human scientist nearest it stepped back in fear. A small child had somehow activated the bars, sending sparks across the metal. The glow from the cage intensified, filling the room with a strange warmth. The humans could not believe their eyes. The children were not ordinary. They were something more, something the aliens had not expected. The young woman whispered urgently to the others, "We have to watch them closely. They may be our only hope." As hours passed, the children began to communicate with one another in ways the adults could not understand. Their words were soft, almost like music, and yet the humans could feel their meaning. Plans were forming inside those small minds, strategies for survival, escape, and perhaps even a counterattack. The alien council had underestimated them, and the children knew it. One boy, older than the others, pressed his hand against the wall, and a faint crack appeared in the surface, as if the wall itself were bending to his will. The humans gasped. Could these children really bend matter with their energy? The air in the room felt charged, heavy with anticipation. Each child seemed to feed off the other's energy, their combined presence growing stronger by the minute. Outside, the humans reinforced their defenses, but their hope now rested on something they had never seen before. They watched the children, aware that their lives depended on the hidden strength of these small humans. A sudden alarm blared from the facility's perimeter, signaling movement outside. The humans looked toward the doors, hearts pounding. Shadows flickered, but no alien had arrived yet. It was as if the children sensed the danger before anyone else. One small girl lifted her hand, and the glow from her fingertips shot across the room, forming a protective barrier around the cages. The humans stumbled backward, stunned by the display. The air vibrated with power, and for the first time, they felt that survival might be possible. The young woman whispered, "They're ready. We don't have to do this alone." Outside, the first alien scout ship appeared, hovering low and scanning for signs of human activity. The humans held their breath, hiding behind walls and consoles, expecting the worst. But the children remained calm, their energy forming a subtle shield that the aliens could not detect, as if invisible threads connected them to the world around them. The scout ship paused, confused. It scanned the facility repeatedly but could not locate the hidden humans or the energy emanating from the cages. Inside, one boy's glow pulsed brighter, and a soft hum filled the room again, like a heartbeat. The humans realized that the children were controlling something far beyond their understanding. Could they truly fight back against the aliens? The thought sent shivers down their spines. Hours passed in tense silence. The alien scout finally retreated, signaling back to the larger ships above. The humans exhaled, relief washing over them, but they knew this was only a temporary victory. They had seen the secret strength of the children, but they did not yet know its limits. Night fell, and the facility became quiet. The children huddled together, whispering softly, planning, their energy shimmering faintly in the darkness. The humans watched, filled with awe and fear. They had underestimated the aliens before, but now they also underestimated the children they had tried to protect. Somewhere deep in the facility, a small crack of light formed along the ceiling. The humans noticed it, but only dimly. The children seemed to see it clearly, their eyes reflecting its glow. The young woman whispered, "This is just the beginning. Whatever comes next, we are not helpless." Outside, the stars shone cold and distant, but the humans no longer felt powerless. The children had revealed their secret strength, and with it, the possibility of survival, escape, and victory. The alien threat remained, looming over the horizon, but now the humans had hope. The glow from the cages faded slowly as the children rested, but the humans knew that this secret strength would awaken again when needed. The night was thick with suspense, and the humans felt it in every bone. The story of survival, courage, and hidden power had just begun, and the forbidden cage was no longer a prison, it was the spark of a revolution. The sun barely rose when the humans realized the aliens were preparing for another visit. The distant hum of ships filled the sky, a constant reminder of the power hovering above. Inside the facility, the children remained in their cages, but their energy pulsed stronger than ever. The humans gathered quietly, whispering plans and strategies, though they knew their weapons were useless against such advanced beings. The young woman stood near the cages, her eyes scanning the small faces inside. "They are ready," she whispered. "Whatever comes, we must trust them." The first alarm blared as shadows fell across the metal floors. The alien scouts had arrived, moving faster and more silent than ever. Their eyes glowed faintly as they searched every corner for signs of humans. Panic rose among the guards, but the children remained calm, their quiet confidence spreading to the adults. Suddenly, a small boy pressed his hand against the bars, and a soft hum echoed through the room. Sparks danced along the cage walls, forming shapes no human had seen before. The scouts froze in mid-step, their glowing eyes flickering with confusion. One scout reached out, touching the cage, only to recoil as the sparks surged, a force invisible yet powerful enough to push him back. The humans gasped. Could such small children hold power over these massive aliens? The young woman whispered urgently, "Stay calm. Let them act." The aliens, sensing danger, signaled their main fleet to descend. The air shook as enormous ships hovered low, their engines humming like thunder. Humans ran for cover, but the children stayed focused, their hands glowing brighter with each passing second. A sudden crash echoed through the facility as one scout ship landed near the cages. The aliens emerged, moving with deadly precision, weapons aimed at the humans. But before they could fire, the small boy stepped forward, still inside his cage. A beam of light shot from his hands, striking the alien weapons. Sparks flew, disabling their guns instantly. The humans stared in disbelief, unable to comprehend the children's power. The alien leader arrived soon after, his massive figure casting a shadow over the room. "Do not underestimate them," he shouted to his troops, but even his voice trembled with uncertainty. The children seemed to respond to his command, though not out of fear. They were aware of the danger, yet they moved with careful purpose. Another child touched the floor, and a ripple of energy surged through the metal, knocking several aliens off balance. The humans cheered silently, hiding behind consoles and walls, but their hearts raced. Could these children really fight back against such powerful enemies? The clash intensified. Sparks flew as alien weapons collided with invisible forces controlled by the children. The air was thick with tension, and the humans felt every vibration in their bones. One small girl lifted her hands, and a wall of light formed around the cages, shimmering and strong, deflecting laser blasts with ease. The aliens hesitated, unsure how to attack a force they could not see or understand. The leader roared, frustrated, signaling his troops to regroup, but it was too late. The children's energy continued to grow, stronger and more focused with each moment. The humans realized that they had underestimated their young allies. Fear turned into hope, and determination spread through their ranks. "Protect them at all costs," the young woman whispered, her voice firm, as she guided humans to cover and safety. The battle raged on for what felt like hours, though only minutes had passed. Each child displayed different abilities, some bending metal, some creating barriers, and others sending small blasts of energy that disabled alien machines. The aliens were shocked. They had never faced such clever and resourceful beings. The humans watched in awe, realizing that the children were not only surviving, they were fighting back. Outside, the sky shimmered with the glow of the alien fleet, their ships reflecting the energy bursts from below. The ground trembled, and metal groaned under the strain. One human scientist whispered, "This is impossible, yet it is happening." The children, small but fearless, coordinated silently, their plan unfolding perfectly. They had learned quickly from their surroundings, using the facility itself as a weapon. The aliens tried to attack from different angles, but each attempt was met with unexpected resistance. The leader, now realizing the true potential of the humans, shouted orders that were ignored as his troops faltered under the children's strange power. A sudden explosion rocked the facility, and smoke filled the room. The humans coughed but watched as the children emerged unscathed, their energy forming a protective shield around them. The aliens, stunned and frightened, retreated temporarily, regrouping to understand what they had encountered. The humans exhaled, their fear replaced by awe and hope. The first clash had ended, but the story was far from over. The children had proven that they were not helpless, that even in cages, their strength could challenge the might of the alien fleet. The young woman looked around, her eyes filled with pride and determination. "This is only the beginning," she whispered. "We have survived today, but tomorrow we must be ready for more." The facility settled into tense silence, the echoes of the clash still vibrating through the walls. The children rested briefly, their energy dimming only slightly, but the humans knew that the power they had witnessed was only the start. The first clash had revealed a truth that no one could ignore: humanity, even in its smallest and youngest forms, was not weak. The forbidden cage had become more than a prison, it was a battlefield, a symbol of hidden strength, and a spark that could ignite the courage of all who stood with it. The aliens would return, stronger and angrier, but the humans now understood one undeniable fact: the children could fight, and in their fight, they could change the course of the war. The day after the first clash, the humans worked quietly, still shaken by the display of the children's power. Outside, the alien ships lingered, scanning the facility with silent precision. The humans knew that another attack could come at any moment. Inside the cages, the children whispered to one another, their voices soft but urgent. Something had awakened within them during the last battle, a hidden strength they had never fully used. The young woman watched closely, her heart pounding as she realized they were preparing for something more. "Be ready," she said to the humans around her. "Whatever they do next, we must survive." The aliens, too, were uneasy. The council had returned to discuss the results of the first clash. Reports came in from scouts, describing the children's energy and unusual abilities. The council members murmured among themselves, disbelief and fear evident in their expressions. "These humans, they are not ordinary," one of them said, his voice tight. The alien leader, furious and worried, struck the table with his hand. "We cannot underestimate them. They have something we do not understand. We must act carefully." Back in the facility, the humans noticed the alien activity above. Ships moved in patterns, as if searching for weaknesses. The children, however, did not flinch. Their energy seemed to respond to the movements of the aliens, almost as if they could sense every approach and strategy. One boy, older and stronger than the others, closed his eyes and focused. A faint glow surrounded him, spreading slowly to the other children. The humans felt it in their bones, a warmth and power that gave them hope. Suddenly, the boy raised his hands, and the glow expanded, forming a dome around the cages. Alien sensors scanned the area but failed to detect the hidden shield. The humans stared in awe. The children had created a barrier, invisible to the aliens but impenetrable. The young woman whispered, "This is their hidden weapon. They are ready to fight on their terms." Hours passed in tense silence. The aliens tried to probe the facility, sending drones and scouts, but every attempt was met with unexpected resistance. The children's energy shifted, bending the drones harmlessly away or disabling their electronics. The humans realized that their hidden allies were far stronger than they had imagined. Suddenly, one of the cages shook violently. A small girl had lifted herself slightly, and her energy flared bright, forming beams that shot across the room. The humans ducked instinctively, but nothing touched them. The beams moved with purpose, as if guided by a mind far beyond their size. The alien scouts approached the doors, ready to strike, but the children's barrier held strong. Sparks of energy ricocheted across the walls, and the aliens stepped back, confused and wary. One of the scientists whispered, "They are not just defending themselves, they are preparing something." The young woman nodded. "Yes, this is their plan. They are our hidden weapon." As night fell, the energy from the children intensified. It was not chaotic but controlled, precise, and powerful. The humans watched silently, understanding that they were witnessing something extraordinary. Outside, the alien fleet paused, unsure of what to do. The leader signaled for a retreat, but hesitation ran through the ranks. These humans, especially the children, had created an advantage no one could ignore. Inside, the children communicated with each other through gestures and whispers. They were not just reacting, they were planning, coordinating a strategy the humans could not yet comprehend. One boy pointed to a corner of the facility, and a faint glow followed his movement. Something hidden there began to react to the children's energy. The humans noticed sparks along the metal walls, as if the building itself were responding. "What is that?" a scientist asked, his voice trembling. "It's their hidden weapon," the young woman replied, her eyes wide. "They are using the facility itself. They can turn everything around them into a defense, or an attack." The children's energy spread further, touching walls, floors, and ceilings. The lights flickered, and metal groaned as the facility seemed to come alive. The humans watched in awe and fear. If the aliens attacked now, they would face a force unlike anything they had ever imagined. Hours later, the alien council regrouped in the sky, frustrated and worried. Their scouts reported nothing could penetrate the barrier, and the strange energy in the facility seemed to grow stronger by the minute. The leader's anger burned hotter than ever, but he could not act recklessly. He realized the humans, especially the children, had awakened a hidden weapon beyond technology or numbers. Back in the facility, the children rested briefly, their energy dimming slightly, but the humans could sense that it was only a temporary pause. The plan was unfolding. The young woman whispered to the others, "They have the power. They control the battle now." Outside, the stars shone cold and distant, but the humans no longer felt fear. They had seen the hidden strength of the children, their unique abilities that could defy even the might of the alien council. The night was thick with suspense. Every shadow seemed to move with purpose, every sound carried tension. The humans waited, aware that the aliens would strike again, but this time, they had hope. The forbidden cage had transformed from a prison into a fortress, a symbol of hidden power and courage. The children, small yet fearless, were the secret weapon the humans needed, and the aliens had no idea what was coming. The first strike had shown their strength. The hidden weapon promised victory, or at least survival, in a battle that had only just begun. The humans and children alike knew that their journey was far from over, but for the first time, they felt that the balance of power might be shifting in their favor. The day was quiet, almost too quiet, as the humans prepared for the inevitable alien return. Outside, the ships hovered silently, their presence oppressive and threatening, but inside the facility, a strange energy pulsed from the cages. The children moved among themselves, whispering softly, their eyes glowing faintly, as if they shared a secret only they could understand. The humans watched, tense but hopeful, realizing that the children's power had grown stronger after the last clash. Suddenly, a subtle change rippled through the alien fleet. One of the younger aliens, different from the rest, hesitated, lowering a small device that scanned the facility. His eyes flicked to the humans and then to the children, and a quiet doubt crossed his face. This does not feel right, he muttered to himself. For a moment, fear and uncertainty replaced loyalty. The alien leader noticed, his massive figure looming over the alien council. Focus. The humans are dangerous, yes, but we must follow the plan. His voice was sharp, but the hesitation in his troops was contagious. The humans, hiding behind consoles, noticed the pause but did not understand its cause. The children, however, sensed the alien hesitation. One boy raised his hand slightly, and the glow from his fingertips reached toward the hesitant alien, almost like a quiet signal. The alien blinked rapidly, as if confused, then stepped back from the edge of the battle plan. Inside, the humans whispered among themselves, unaware that one of the aliens was beginning to question his orders. He moved silently, observing the children with curiosity and awe, not as enemies but as beings of unexpected power. Could they be different? He wondered quietly. Meanwhile, the alien council prepared another strike. Ships descended low, scanning the facility for weaknesses. The humans braced themselves, hiding behind walls and consoles, but the children remained calm. Their eyes glowed brighter, feeding off each other's energy. The hesitant alien, hidden in the shadows, made a decision. Instead of following the council's orders to attack the cages, he quietly moved toward a control panel, manipulating the signals so the other ships would temporarily pause. The humans noticed a subtle change in the scans. Fewer sensors were active, and some warning lights flickered out. Confusion spread among the humans. "What is happening?" one whispered, but the young woman only shook her head, sensing that the situation had shifted. Inside the cages, the children's energy surged, responding instinctively to the unexpected help. Sparks of light danced along the walls, forming shapes that no human had ever seen. The hesitant alien continued to work silently, his actions subtle but powerful. He disrupted communications between the council and the ships, buying time for the humans and the children. Meanwhile, the alien leader grew furious. "What is happening? Why are our ships unresponsive?" He shouted orders that went ignored as the hesitant alien subtly manipulated controls. The humans realized that the tide of the battle was changing, though they did not yet understand why. The young woman leaned close to the cages, whispering encouragement to the children. Their hidden power had awakened again, stronger than before, responding to unseen support. Outside, the ships hesitated, unsure how to proceed. Some council members argued, confused by the sudden failure of their plans. The leader's anger was palpable, but he could not act recklessly, fearing the unknown power that radiated from the facility. The children, sensing the alien hesitation, coordinated their energy with more precision. Small barriers formed around the cages, deflecting potential attacks, while bursts of light disabled scanning devices. The humans watched in awe, realizing that survival was no longer just hope, it was becoming possible. The hesitant alien continued his quiet sabotage, slipping away from the council's view, blending into the shadows of the fleet. Each small action disrupted the aliens' coordination, giving the humans and children an advantage they could not have imagined. Suddenly, a loud alarm echoed through the facility as the council realized something was wrong. Orders came too late. The children, already in motion, moved their energy to strike at key points of the alien machinery, causing small explosions and sparks to fly across the ships. The humans ducked instinctively, but nothing touched them. The hesitant alien watched silently, knowing he had chosen the right side. For the first time, he felt loyalty not to the council, but to something greater, the courage and strength of the humans he had observed. The young woman realized that someone was helping them, though she did not yet know who. "Someone among them has turned," she whispered, hope sparking in her voice. The children's energy surged again, brighter and stronger, feeding off the aliens' quiet betrayal. Together, human and alien forces worked without speaking, an unspoken alliance forming in the shadows of the facility. The alien council, frustrated and furious, could not regain control. Their plans were failing, and the humans and children had gained a precious advantage. The night grew darker, and the facility hummed with energy, alive with a new sense of power and determination. The humans realized that the battle was no longer one-sided. They had allies, even among the aliens, and the children's secret strength had grown beyond anything the council had imagined. The hesitant alien looked at the children one last time before retreating to the shadows, a small smile crossing his face. The forbidden cage had revealed not just the power of humanity, but the cracks in the enemy's own ranks. The humans exhaled, fear mixed with awe, as they prepared for the next phase. The betrayal among the aliens had shifted the balance, and the children's hidden strength promised that the coming battles would no longer be as hopeless as they once seemed. The story was far from over, but for the first time, the humans felt that hope was possible, and that even the smallest allies could change the fate of the universe. The humans gathered quietly in the facility, the tension thick in the air. The alien ships were visible in the sky, their dark silhouettes moving slowly, waiting for the right moment to strike. Inside the cages, the children whispered among themselves, their small faces calm but focused. The young woman looked at them, her heart pounding. "This is it," she said softly. "We must trust them completely." The aliens had returned in greater numbers, and the humans knew this would be the most dangerous encounter yet. The hesitant alien who had betrayed his council before had communicated secretly, guiding the humans and giving them hope. The humans prepared quietly, reinforcing doors, checking barriers, and hiding wherever they could, but their confidence now rested entirely on the children. The children, in turn, seemed aware of the stakes. One boy raised his hands, and a faint glow spread across the cages, touching every corner of the facility. The humans watched as sparks formed along the walls, floors, and ceilings, bending metal slightly, like a warning that they were not helpless. Outside, the alien leader hovered above the facility, his glowing eyes scanning for signs of weakness. He could sense the energy within, but he could not understand it. The humans could feel his presence, his anger mixing with fear, and it only strengthened their resolve. The children began to coordinate their energy, forming barriers, shields, and even small pulses that could push back alien technology. Their movements were precise, as if following a plan no human could fully comprehend. The humans whispered to each other in awe. "They are preparing a final strike," one said. "We have to trust them." The alien fleet began its descent, massive ships moving closer to the facility, ready to attack. Lasers and scanning beams cut through the air, but the children's energy formed a protective shield that made the beams bend harmlessly away. Sparks of light shot from the cages, hitting alien machines and disabling several drones before the aliens could react. The hesitant alien watched from the shadows of the fleet, silently guiding their actions, and for the first time, the alien leader realized that his forces were being manipulated without his knowledge. Inside, the children whispered again, tiny movements creating waves of energy that spread through the facility. The humans watched in awe as floors and walls seemed to respond to the children's commands, bending slightly or reflecting alien attacks harmlessly. A small girl pressed her hands to the ceiling, and a faint vibration spread through the building, confusing alien sensors and drones. One human scientist whispered, "They are not just defending themselves, they are controlling everything." The young woman nodded, her eyes wide. "This is the final plan. We have to survive until it is complete." Suddenly, one of the cages glowed brighter than ever, sending a pulse of energy outward. The pulse hit the largest alien ship, causing sparks to fly and lights to flicker. The humans held their breath as the aliens shouted in confusion. The hesitant alien smiled faintly. The plan was working. The children continued to coordinate silently, forming small channels of energy that traveled through walls, floors, and even alien machinery. The humans realized that the children were not just fighting, they were orchestrating a symphony of power that no one could stop. Outside, the alien leader roared in frustration, realizing that their strikes were failing. The hesitant alien, still hidden, glanced at him silently, knowing that the humans now had the advantage. Sparks flew, beams of energy collided with alien weapons, and metal groaned as the facility itself seemed to awaken under the children's command. The humans felt the vibrations in their bones, fear mixed with awe, as the facility became more than just a shelter, it had become a weapon. Hours passed in tense silence, punctuated by bursts of energy and confusion among the aliens. The children had learned quickly from their surroundings, using the facility itself as part of the battle. The humans could only watch in wonder, realizing that survival was no longer a hope but a near certainty if the children continued to control their power. Finally, the alien leader shouted orders to retreat, but his troops were hesitant. Their drones and ships had been disabled or misdirected repeatedly, and the humans could see the cracks forming in the alien formation. The children, sensing the moment, unleashed a coordinated surge of energy. The pulse hit multiple ships at once, sending them spinning away from the facility. The humans ducked instinctively, but no one was harmed. The battle had shifted. The young woman looked at the children, her voice trembling with emotion. "You did it. You controlled everything." The hesitant alien watched quietly from above, knowing he had chosen the right side. The forbidden cage had become a battlefield and a symbol of humanity's hidden strength. Outside, the sky was filled with sparks and flashing lights as the alien fleet retreated, their anger and fear visible even from a distance. The humans emerged slowly, their hearts racing, realizing that the final plan had worked. The children had shown their full power, controlling the facility, defending themselves, and even turning alien weapons against their owners. The young woman smiled, tears forming in her eyes. "They are not just children," she whispered. "They are the hope of our species." The night settled over the facility, quiet but charged with energy. The humans and children rested briefly, aware that the aliens would return, but now confident that they could survive anything. The forbidden cage was no longer just a prison, it was a fortress, a symbol of courage, and the stage for humanity's hidden strength to shine. The final plan had succeeded, and for the first time, the humans felt that their future might not be dictated by fear, but by the courage and power of those they had tried to protect. The morning after the final clash began quietly, but the humans knew that peace was temporary. Outside, the alien fleet lingered, their massive ships scanning for any sign of weakness. The children remained in their cages, but their energy pulsed stronger than ever, a quiet warning to any who dared attack. The young woman moved among the humans, whispering encouragement and reminding them to stay calm. "We have survived everything so far," she said softly. "Trust them. Trust the children." Inside, the children whispered to each other, their hands glowing faintly, touching the walls and floors as if preparing for one final act. The humans watched in awe, sensing that the climax of this battle was near. The alien leader, frustrated by repeated failures, gathered his council and shouted orders. "Strike with everything we have. Leave nothing standing." His anger was fierce, but hesitation had crept into the ranks. The hesitant alien who had betrayed the council before watched quietly, his mind made up. He would not allow the council to destroy the humans or the children. Slowly, he moved among the fleet's control panels, manipulating signals and communications to give the humans and children a final advantage. Outside, the sky darkened as more alien ships arrived, ready for what they believed would be the decisive strike. Inside the facility, the children coordinated their energy with precision, glowing brighter than ever. Sparks traveled along the walls and floors, forming shields, barriers, and channels that redirected alien attacks harmlessly. The humans felt the energy in the air, a mixture of hope and awe. One small boy touched the floor, and a pulse of energy surged through the facility. Alien ships shook, their weapons faltering as energy redirected back toward them. The humans ducked instinctively, but nothing touched them. The children's combined power had created a fortress invisible to the aliens, impenetrable and alive. The alien leader shouted again, furious, but no one obeyed fully. Confusion spread through the ranks as drones malfunctioned and ships spiraled from invisible forces. The humans realized that this was the moment they had been waiting for. The children were not just defending themselves, they were controlling the battlefield. A small girl touched the ceiling, and a shockwave of light spread through the facility, disrupting alien sensors and machinery further. Sparks flew, beams of energy collided, and the humans could feel the vibrations deep in their bones. The young woman whispered, "This is it. Their final strike. Watch closely." Outside, alien ships began retreating, one after another, their engines flickering as children's energy disabled key systems. The humans could hardly believe what they saw. The hesitant alien watched quietly from above, knowing that his choice to help had been the right one. He had given humanity the final edge they needed. The children continued to move with precise control, each small gesture guiding energy that was more powerful than anything humans or aliens had anticipated. Lasers, drones, and even alien weapons failed against the hidden fortress they had created. The humans could see hope for the first time, feeling the thrill of survival, courage, and unexpected victory. Suddenly, the largest alien ship, the command ship, trembled violently. Energy from the facility surged upward, striking the ship directly. Sparks flew across its surface, systems failed, and the alien leader roared in disbelief. The hesitant alien smiled faintly, knowing that the tide of battle had turned completely. The humans emerged slowly from hiding, their hearts pounding, watching as alien ships retreated into the distance. The children's energy dimmed slightly, but the glow remained, a reminder of the power they held. The young woman stepped forward, tears in her eyes, and whispered to the children, "You saved us all. You showed them the strength of humanity." The children looked at her, small smiles crossing their faces, their confidence now fully realized. Outside, the skies were quiet, the alien fleet gone for now, defeated but alive to fight another day. The humans understood that they had witnessed something extraordinary. The forbidden cage had transformed from a prison into a symbol of courage, strength, and the unbreakable spirit of humanity. The children's hidden power had not only saved themselves but had shifted the balance of power in the galaxy. The alien leader would return, they knew. But the humans now had proof that even the smallest and seemingly weakest could fight back against the mightiest forces. The hesitant alien had shown that loyalty could change the outcome of a war, and humanity had learned that courage and unity were their greatest weapons. Night fell over the facility, and the humans and children rested, exhausted but triumphant. The air was charged with quiet energy, a promise that they were no longer helpless. The battle was over, but the story of these humans had only begun. The children's power, the humans' courage, and the alliance with the unlikely alien had created a turning point that no one would forget. The forbidden cage, once a symbol of fear and imprisonment, now stood as a beacon of hope. Humanity had triumphed, not through sheer force, but through courage, intelligence, and the hidden strength of those the world had overlooked. The stars above shone bright, silent witnesses to the victory, as the humans looked to the future with hope, knowing that whatever challenges came next, they could face them together.